You see, I tried to film this video yesterday. It didn't really go as planned because I attached the mic to my shirt and the sound quality is actual dog water. I'm just gonna refilm it and then I'll be happier. Do you notice anything different? We don't have to talk about that. I got a bookshelf, guys. Oh my god, I love it. I've already got it somewhat stacked. I didn't really know how to organize the books at first, but I think I'm okay with how it looks right now. I might change it in a while, I don't know. But anyways, it's been a couple weeks, maybe a month. I don't know. I did not film my December wrap up, and it's February 1st right now. So happy February. I'm just gonna talk to you guys about my December and January reads while also talking about my plans for February. Why was I gone for a while? Crippling depression. I've been going through a little slump, not to mention I've been flaring up off and on, so it's got me like bedridden too, so it's just what happens to me, you know? This is how I deal with my eczema flare-ups. What did I read in December? Here's all the stats, or I'll put it right here. December was a good reading month. A bunch of like Christmas novellas to get in the spirit for Christmas. I think I started it off with Strawberry Hollow Christmas series, Maren. The first book I read in December was The Mistletoe Bet by Maren. Honestly, I can't remember the characters' names, but I know I think he was like the town's like only doctor and she was like visiting, but she's kind of like a grump. I also read A Festive Feud by Maren, which is a part of the same Interconnect series, you know? It was interesting. I don't know if I'm getting all these books mixed up, but I feel like it was the book where they like spent the night in jail together because she might have broken a very expensive piece of glass because they were fighting over it, which I mean slay. The Christmas List by Maren. I'm getting them mixed up because I think in the Christmas List he's like a single dad. I'm pretty sure. So yeah, I mean it makes sense for the second one to be the least one I liked because boy, it was steamy, but at the same time it was very cringy. Lights Out by Navessa. It got 3.75 stars. I think I started it in November, but honestly, I don't have anything bad to say about the book. It was fun, hilarious. It was interesting. It was a fun time. Honestly, never a dull moment because it was just one thing after the other, you know? And the audiobook made it so much better because the dude who voiced Josh, he is so funny. The next book, I made a video on it. I'm not gonna discuss it. I'm done talking about that book because it is quite possibly the worst book I've ever read. November 9th by Colleen Hoover. If you want to know what happens but don't want to read it yourself, I made a whole video talking about it. So Cruel Winter with You by Ali Hazelwood. I feel like anything Ali Hazelwood writes I'll read because it just like speaks to me on levels. I love her. I read one of her books this month. It was kind of a miss, kind of not, I don't know. Merry Ever After by Tessa Bailey. All these authors like partnered up together to make this series like for Christmas. I didn't really like, but I gave it 3 stars because I guess the writing was okay. If I'm remembering correctly, it's about the single mom and this country boy who's really tall and none of his clothes fit him, so she's gotta she's gotta be his personal tailor. No joke. And then I read How My Neighbor Stole Christmas by Meghan Quinn. I was really hesitant about reading this because it was like 500 pages and I'm just like, I don't think any little Christmassy romance novel needs to be over 500 pages, but I powered through and I ended up really enjoying it. It could have been shorter, but you know. And then I read A Novel Love Story by Ashley Poston. I think I started this in November too, but I didn't finish it until December. And honestly, I feel like I'm kind of a mood reader. I don't know. I feel like I had to be in a specific mood to read this. It was very cute, and I was really confused, like 20% left of the book. It all played out really nicely in the end. So, next book I read was Lovelight Farms by BK Borison. This book was so good. It was so cute. Little friends to lovers fake dating situation. Luca, oh my god. He got me feeling some things, I won't lie. And then I read My December Darling by Lauren Asher. If I'm not mistaken, Lauren Asher is the one who made Lakefront Billionaire novels. If I'm wrong, disregard what I just said. But I love this book. So I'm thinking sometime this year I'll pick up another one of her books because I really enjoyed her writing. And then I finished The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. I gave it 4 stars. Adam and Olive. I'm just remembering how I felt reading this. It was so good. You see, Adam and Olive, it's Jackson and Jackson and Elsie, I think is their name. Top tier couples. They're my top two Ellie Hazelwood couples. I'm sorry. Arrest me. But yeah, that's all I read in December. Now moving on to January. January started out a little rough. I didn't think I was making any progress in what I was reading. It's already like January 12th and I only have like 2-3 books done. But I read a lot in January, surprisingly. I got my first 5-star read of the year. It was really good. Let me get it off the shelf. Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonam-Young. This was such a good book. All my annotations, I was doing something different where I made them like really thin so they didn't stick out as much, and I really liked it. And the colors I picked, there were so many cute moments in this book, and it has a lot of representation for people with disabilities, some mental health issues, and everyone said the way the author did the surprise pregnancy trope is really well done. And I'll have to say, I don't have anything against or for the surprise pregnancy trope, but this one, she did it really good. But yeah, I love this book. Reading this as someone who's infertile, it both ruined me and healed me in a way, you know? Next book. This blew up on Twitter. A Deal with the Bossy Devil by Kyra Parsi. The female character, she's actually psychotic. Like, he's crazy, but she might be even crazier than him. Because the banter and the spice. Jesus Christ. I was one of those people like, ew, ice cubes, but then after reading this book, I'm like, ice cubes. But no, this book this book was really good. It was a little long for my preference, but I'm just a little picky. It's fine. Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood. You see, I enjoyed reading it, but I feel like this one just didn't like hit for me as the other books of hers has. But you know, Ali Hazelwood, she knows how to write really pathetic men, and I love it. Big Fan by Alexandra Romanoff. It's a really short book. It's about, I think she's like a media manager for politicians, but she's kind of like in politics herself. And he's like a rock star, like venturing out on his own. It was really nice. I liked it. And then I listened to Two Can Play by Ali Hazelwood. You see, this one is strictly an audiobook version, so I kind of had like a hard time processing everything that went down in this book because I'm kind of like a visual learner. It doesn't have like an ebook version, but I heard that she's gonna be releasing it as like a physical book soon, and then I'm kind of sitting here and I'm like, wait, Ali Hazelwood kind of writes the same books but like in different fonts. Maybe just a little bit. I'll still read it. I'll still eat it up every time. In the beginning of January, I also discovered Epic the Musical. It's been my huge hyperfixation this month. I literally have not been able to stop listening to it. I've put so many people on it. I've made my mom listen to it. I've made my friends listen to it. It's just so good. And so I'm like, you know what? Let me pick up like the original source material and read it for myself. So I also read the Odyssey last month. The one I read was translated by Robert Fagles, I think is his name, and that one, it was very like easy to read for my tiny peanut brain. I loved it. A+. And then I also read an arc, which was My Plus One Equals You by Angela Haas or House. Oh my god, it was really cute. I have been really scared to pick up arcs again because the last few I read, they didn't really go as well as I had wanted them to, but this one was nice, very to the point, and very frustrating at times because I don't know if you want to say it's like a miscommunication trope in there, but there's some moments in the book where the characters like fail to communicate correctly, so it causes a lot of frustration, but I also feel like that's what makes the characters really realistic. I can see people acting like that in real life and how real couples like fail to communicate all turns out well. I read What Does It Feel Like by Sophie, Kinsella. I picked this up because I saw it on Libby and I read it and I was like, oh my god, it's like an autobiography but like in a fiction book, and I'm like, oh my god, I have to read it. It made me really sad, but at the same time it was like, it was really inspiring. It's like you read the book knowing that it's kind of like the author's own real life experience, so it makes it all the more emotional. My girl, the last book I read in January was This Woven Kingdom by Tahereh Mafi. I love her. She's my girl. I wanted to start this series immediately after I finished the Shatter Me one. I'm finally getting around to it this month, and oh my god, I feel like it's gonna be like a Shatter Me case where like the first book is quite possibly like not the worst, because I'm not saying Shatter Me is bad, but it's like at the bottom of all the books ranked. I feel like she spends the first book of a series just world building and like prepping the readers for like what's to come in the series, so it was really slow. Once you get like 60% in, it starts ramping up, and then I'm a Comran girl for now. Because, you know, when I started reading Shatter Me, I was like, okay, apparently Aaron Warner comes from this series, so I mean, obviously, he's not gonna be in the book for very long. So I was like, you know what, I'm not even gonna get used to Adam. But I didn't even have to worry about Adam because he completely ruined his character in, like, the third book, so. But Comran, I'm rooting for him right now. And I know she kind of just got kidnapped by Cyrus, but I still have to read the second book, so it might change. My opinion might change like it did for Adam and Aaron. I love Aaron. But yeah, that's all I read in January. It is February 1st, and I started my first read of this month, which is Les Mis. She's a hefty book. I could kill someone with this. But yeah, I have tabs every 50 pages because I'm gonna make a goal to read 50 pages a day, so that'll mean like I'll finish it in under a month. But let me tell you, I'm eating this book so far because I've already got to like page 106. It's really good. I'm also reading another arc right now that I got from NetGalley, which is Roll for Romance, which is like, it's like a romance but also mixed in some Dungeons and Dragons type stuff, because not only are there characters in the Dungeons and Dragons game flirting with each other, they kind of have some chemistry outside of the game, so I'm just like, ooh. And I've been wanting to like watch more Dungeons and Dragons stuff because it seems really cool, and at the same time the romance subplots that go on, that's what I've been reading for the past few months, what I've been doing. I have library books back here. I've got The Count of Monte Cristo and Assistant to the Villain, which I might start later this month as like a palate cleanser between Les Mis and the Arc. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and click the subscribe button. And if you really like this video, then maybe you can turn on like video notifications. It doesn't hurt anybody. I don't upload that frequently. I haven't been really doing much. I've been watching shows and movies, playing games. I'll see you in my next video, hopefully looking like a little more put together, but like I don't think I look that bad right now. What do people say? Peace out, Girl Scout? Okay, goodbye. Bye.